Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden.
Where we continue to follow the capture and killing of Osama bin Laden now.
Those are just some of the scenes overnight as thousands of Americans gathered in celebration of Osama bin Laden's death.
Former Navy SEAL Rob O'Neill says he has thought about the mission every day since that May Day in 2011.
For multiple conversations you had with Rob O'Neill over the past year and a half, how'd you get
access? And you described that his head kind of exploded when you hit him.
I actually hit him 3 times because I shot him twice when he was standing and once on the ground.
That is the fucking American badass right there.
We are not going for fame and we are not going for bravado. We are going for the single mom who dropped her kids off at elementary school on a Tuesday morning, and then 45 minutes later she jumped to her death out of a skyscraper.
If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.
I'm Rob O'Neill, and this is the Operator Podcast. Okay, welcome back. It's time for the Operator Podcast, and that's what this is, the Operator Podcast. I'm your host, Robert J. O'Neill. This will be part 2 of my interview with former Navy SEAL, my teammate, Scott Paget. This is a fun interview. I hope you watch the first one because it's just 2 dudes sitting down talking about pretty much whatever and nothing. Nothing political, no inter-service rivalries, any of that crap. Maybe poking a little fun at each other, which in the military we used to be able to do without people spinning up and writing articles and YouTube fake fights about bullshit. But this is a recap of a lot of what it was like to be a Navy SEAL before 9/11, what we did during and after, and just how life goes on the way forward. That type of stuff. But the interview was great, and I want to hear about it, what you think. At the Operator Podcast on Instagram, or you can find me on Twitter, X, and or Instagram at Mchooyah, MCHOOYAH, if you care to. And I always love to get your advice because that's the premise of the Operator Podcast. I want to hear what you're doing as an operator. I'll tell you what we're doing. So we're going to get into that with Scott Paget. This part is a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy it. And just don't get offended. Get over yourself. But I want to talk about the sponsor of the show before we get there. I need to talk about Qualia Senolytic because none of us are getting any younger. I know myself, got a baby running around. Well, not even a baby, just she's running around. Lower back, knees, sore at the gym, all that stuff, the older that we get. And a big culprit of that are the middle-aged feeling are these things called senescent cells or zombie cells. Basically, these are cells that have done their job and then they kind of just linger. They're doing nothing. And the accumulation of zombie cells can lead to less energy, slower recovery, joint discomfort, all that stuff too. But clinically tested Qualia Senolytic is a supplement with 9 vegan plant-derived compounds that helps your body naturally eliminate these zombie cells. So it's really good for you. It helps you feel years younger. All you got to do is take it twice a month. And right now what I'm doing, I'm hopping out of bed, getting outside into the grass, grounding myself and all that good stuff. And these are, it's a breakthrough formula of vegan, non-GMO. They're tested by leading scientists and MDs. And like I said, I wake up fired up. It gets rid of the zombie cells. That's kind of what you're looking for too. And why this is that makes the brand so unique about Qualia is they're fully transparent formulas. There's no proprietary ingredients. Like I said, top scientists, MDs, science-backed formulas, backed with hundreds of research citations, thousands of real life-changing reviews online. Go check out their website too. To experience the science of feeling younger, I need you to do this. Totally go check out qualialife.com. Qualialife.com. QUALIALIFE.com/theoperator for up to 50% off your purchase. And use code The Operator for an additional 15% off at checkout. That's qualialife.com, QUALIA life.com/The Operator. That's an additional 15% off your purchase, and your older self or your newer, better self will thank you. And I want to thank Qualia for sponsoring this episode. So go check out qualialife.com/The Operator and feel younger and better.
Yeah. So so it comes to, we graduate and then you get your assignments.
I was going to ask that the dream sheet. What'd you fill out? Because
I wanted to be on the East Coast, not the left
2,
coast.
4, and 8s.
Yeah, so I just put 2, 4, and 8.
Yeah.
And because I worked a few pairs.
Boom. SEAL Team 2 it is.
I got hooked up, man.
Yeah.
And I remember they made us hit the surf, and I was with Jason Elliott. We ran. We had to hit the surf. We had our guns and all that. And then I can remember this. He was like, because I was going to run to the surf, and he was like, wait a second, man. Hold on. Let's take this in. Let's stop and smell the roses. And then we like look around the beach, because we've graduated now, and we're both going to SEAL Team 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was an awesome moment.
That's a great feeling, isn't it?
It was. It was, because I was just going to hit the seat and try to go back, and he's like, wait, stop. Let's take this in.
That's really cool.
Because I think we'd been drinking beers.
Why not?
I think the instructors had given us some beers.
Well, at that point,
yes,
yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, we stopped.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was
he was my shooting buddy in sniper school, Jay Elliott.
Yeah.
Yeah, good dude. I was
He's like a caricature of a human being. Right? He's got that big cleft chin.
Dude, and just the chiseled face and
very Henry Rollins.
And his mannerisms were just
very zero fucks given.
What's this piece of squeeze?
Yeah, If you look up zero fucks given in the dictionary, you're gonna have a 6x9 glossy of Jay Elliott.
We had a good time at sniper school. He was really good.
Yeah, he is funny. Real funny.
I was sweating it because when you do your unknown distance shooting tests in sniper school, the shooter's going to fail, but it's not on him; it's on the spotter. And I'm spotting for Jay Elliott on the test, and I remember his first one missed, and I didn't know if it went high or low. I couldn't really tell by the vapor trail. I'm like, fuck, if I give him a wrong spot here, he's probably going to kick my ass. I don't really want that. But so you get
you got fortunate luck of the draw. You got to go to sniper school at
before
Atterbury
my first
Relief, even before your first platoon.
Yeah. I'm the luckiest unlucky man in the world. I will trip on my dick but land in a pot of gold. That's how life works. So you get SEAL Team 2, you go out there. What's checking in? Because SEAL Team 2, because the way that I saw it, SEAL Team 2 and SEAL Team 1 were similar because the way the teams work, the odd numbers are going to be in Coronado 1, 3, and 5 at the time. The 2, 4, and 8 are on the East Coast. And SEAL Team 1 and SEAL Team 2 were like the first teams, obviously. And they're the hardcore, the meat stick and the PT and the swims, where like Team 5 they know is Surf Team 5 because they go surfing every day. So, but Team 2 was the meat stick and get your shit together. Where's your uniform?
So I go to jump school, and then
tell me about that.
I had a bunch of friends from college had all graduated, and they were doing great, making a bunch of money. They all lived in Atlanta, so I was going back every weekend to party with those guys.
Nice.
And there was one weekend we all played tackle football, and I broke my foot. Except I didn't know, and my foot just hurt. Right?
Yeah.
My little like a navicular bone in my up in the top and the bottom of my foot, right where my arch is. So I'm just like hobbling along, and probably it was a crack, and then I actually wound up breaking it because
You're running
would
that
just
13-minute
because
pace.
I'm hard and I have a really high pain threshold, but still, your 13-minute pace. I just had to wrap it up and suck it up. I mean, it sucked, but thank God they were running so slow, right?
Yeah.
So I get to the team, and what do they tell you? The Master Chief brings you in. He'd been a dev. I can't remember his name, but he was fucking real serious, dude.
Was that Clell Brining?
Yes.
Yeah. I always loved that name, Clell. That was sick.
Yeah,
he was a hard motherfucker.
He was serious as a heart attack. He was tall as fuck.
He was serious. I don't think he laughed very much.
Never, ever. And great dude, professional, ultra
very professional,
serious as a heart attack. And he said, "Guys, I'm just gonna." I checked in with Ashley and Elliot, and he's like, "You guys, the only thing you have here is your reputation, right?" He's like, "You can either be a fucking asset or a liability, and we're gonna figure out what you are real quick."
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably like the second week we do this big run, and so. Think about all the stuff that I was going through. And Buzz, when I showed up to SEAL Team 2, it was magnified by 10 times.
And you wouldn't think that either, because I heard some shit like some of the instructors. I remember Woody Mister was one of my instructors, and he said after hours, like, the reason I'm so hard on you is I'm going to be working with some of you fuckers one day. And then he was there, and it was and he would say something like, training's going to be harder in the teams than it is here. And
it's not
but
even
you didn't
the same
think
thing.
that
It's like 10,000 times.
Yeah.
I mean, Buzz is just.
Your reputation of Buzz, whatever. But when you get to the teams, yeah.
So, but remember at SEAL Team 2, you had to check in every day, and where you were was right there in the middle of training with the CQB guys. who'd all been at SEAL Team 2 forever. They'd all gone overseas and done the big mish.
Yeah.
And it was like lions and the lambs.
And those are the guys going to green team.
Yeah, and so they're all, they've all done the mish. Now they're all trained in CQB. They're all getting ready to go to Dev and do green team. And they're all just all over you like a fucking, they just got their teeth in you. And every day you had to go and run the gauntlet, right? And so you can see my mannerisms and the way I'm like, I was getting fucking hazed all the time. So we're there the second week, and we do this huge long run, and they give like Elliot and Ashley like 50 pounds of body armor to do the Friday long run. All right,
That fucking Friday run.
yeah, okay, so we're doing So imagine you got the whole team. Then you got these two dudes with 50 pounds of body armor running, and dude, I'm like a half a mile behind them.
Is that because of the foot or what?
Yes. And I come in and like nobody's even like looking at me. I mean, the whole team's just, I can tell they're just disgusted with me. Yep. And the Master Chief comes over and he's like, "Is there something fucking wrong with you?" And I was like, "Man, my foot's killing me." He's like, "Then go to fucking medical."
Yeah.
As soon as we get back. And because they just think I'm like some malingerer at that point. It's like some piece of shit.
And you can't talk yourself out of it. No, he's just a piece of shit.
You're not explaining. If especially in the law, if you're explaining, you're losing.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I can tell there's a whole team over there, and they're not even like looking. They're not even giving me shit.
Yeah.
Which is worse.
Yeah, because you don't fit in. That's it. They don't even care.
Yeah, they're done with me.
Yeah.
I've been there a week. And he comes up, he's like, "Dude, is there something fucking wrong with you?" And I was like, "My foot." So I go, and the corpsman takes an X-ray, and he's like, "Dude, your foot's broken. You need to go see the doctor."
No shit.
He's like, "I can see it, but you need a doctor to tell you." So I'm casted. Thank God. I'm casted like that day, and I come back.
And they're still calling you a pussy though.
Yeah, but at least now it's
it's legit. Like I'm hurt. Yeah. So then so you're a new guy. Well then shit. So that's back in the day when there wasn't a pipeline like SEAL qualification training. You got STT, sort of in-house SEAL tactical training. Did you have to miss your class or wait because you got to? How long was the recovery?
Blackie was like in ops, and he's like, "Are you going to be ready to do STT?" And I was like, "I'll be ready." Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was looking at me like, "You're full of shit." Well, I was like, the cast is going to come off.
Yeah, I'm coming off.
Yeah. So when I got to STT, I didn't do a whole lot of runs. Like I would do like a quarter mile, then a half mile, and then kind of. But I mean, I could do all the evolutions and stuff. Yeah.
That's good.
We had a great STT class.
I had fun in
Ray
STT.
Cash Care.
Ray Cash Care.
He's got a picture of us in STT, and that son of a bitch won't send it to me.
He didn't send it to Ray. What the fuck, dude?
And then Kerry Jackson. KJ was in there. And then we had a good group. We had Ross Hangerbrock and Brennis and Elliot.
Did they have the
and Rob Samuels and Sodas Reed. And I can remember STT being a ton of fun and laughing our asses off.
Did they have the new barracks up at AP Hill?
They just built those brand new
Those
barracks.
are pretty plush. You got Pig Wagner up there, Vietnam vet running the show. Sketchy as shit as far as...
He was. So remember, we got per diem, or comrades, which was $250 a month for our food, right?
Yeah.
And then, lo and behold, the 4 months we were at SCT, like, the comrades went away. Because they're like, well, look, we're just giving it to Pig, and he's going to take care of everything. Little we know, he's like, in on it with the chef, and I think he was like,
of course he was.
He was banging the broad.
Yeah, of course he was.
Yeah, and but the food was good, but it had an element to it.
Yeah, but he kind of knew. I mean, in my experience, he knew that we just wanted to graduate this shit, get our Trident. So we're not going to audit him.
Yeah, but he had all the Connex boxes all facing each other, and he was like the boss hog of AP Hill. He had the run of that place.
Well, he's like, who was the Master Chief running Fort Pickett? Remember that dude? Another Vietnam guy? Like he's up there by himself at Fort Pickett, which is in the middle of nowhere, and he'd call in he's out of shape and he lisps. He'd call in his PRT every 6 months. Yeah, I knocked out 16 pull-ups and I ran it and. What it's like
just had the run of the place.
He was the one like, you I don't know, your West Coast guys get the gallon size bucket of salsa, but you do. Remember that dude?
Yes. But Pig Wagner had obviously he was awesome at explosives, taught all of us. It was great.
Really good.
But he had like his own, let's be honest, he had his own like fiefdom up there.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he ran the place.
He's like,
he was doing God knows what.
He's at year 30.
There wasn't a lot of institutional control, man.
He fought in Vietnam. He don't give a fuck.
I'd have been the same fucking way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's some like black market ring.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah. So you get done with STT,
then I get thrown in a MARG.
Okay, explain a MARG.
I
know you don't want to talk about it.
MARG is literally, and Rob did 2 of them. It's literally the worst deployment you can do
for a Navy SEAL.
For a Navy SEAL.
Yep.
Yeah. you're stuck on some piece of shit Navy ship with a bunch of Marines.
Flat bottom too.
Flat bottom, you know.
Crossing the Atlantic.
An aircraft carrier's got all this, you know, space, and it's awesome. And I mean, and
an aircraft carrier displaces more water than an amphib ship.
Yes, and so then you're on this amphibious ship, and I mean, what can I say?
You don't have a job?
Nope. You're just sitting there laying around all day doing fuck
Boredom.
all. Boredom.
No such thing as email.
For like, there was no email then. We had to do 10 days across the Atlantic to pull in a row to Spain.
Yep.
Yeah, and you're there with a bunch of Marine Corps guys, a bunch of Navy guys, and you're just like, dude, what, you know? They're doing GQ drills all day, every day.
General quarters,
and you're just sitting in your barracks. I mean, you're sitting in your quarters.
Yeah, I had a sewing machine. I would practice my bobbin winding and then my sewing. I would sew shit for people. Charge them like a candy bar and a Coke, kind of like Father O'Malley used to do or whatever. But
they had split us up because there was some kind of neo that they were going to do in Africa, and so
Liberia, right?
Yeah, Liberia. They sent half of the team to go over there, half of the platoon to go over early. They left 2 weeks early, and then it was me and the new guys and Blackie, the chief, and who else? I think Marlon McCabe and but anyway, yeah, no, being on a ship it's a miserable experience.
And this is pre 9/11, so it's not like you're going over there and getting off in Iraq.
We didn't do one goddamn thing.
No, I mean JSAT's training shit.
I got sent in with Lemons and Ash. We got to do the Albania thing.
Albania, yeah.
That was the
big
that
mish.
was the height of the big mish for sure. That platoon had like probably the strongest at the time. Probably had the strongest E5 mafia.
Yeah, good.
The dude that I thought from a leadership standpoint ran the whole platoon, even though when his charge was Rob Yaney.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a total fucking stud.
Yeah, badass.
And Mikey Allen and Steve White, all those dudes,
stud,
were really squared away,
Mikey
really
Brooks,
good at their jobs. And then they came back, and then all went to Dev immediately. But I mean, those motherfuckers haze the fuck out of me.
Well, that's another thing too.
Look, I gotta call a spade a spade. I mean, deserved every fucking bit of it, man.
But I mean, it's but it's
every bit of it.
On a MARG, it's almost like running into the older guys.
But when you're on a MARG, everybody's like trying to make the best of it, but you're all just fucking miserable. Let's be honest. It's just a shitty fucking deployment.
Well, because you got to I don't know what
you
they
got
have.
no chance of getting to the big mish.
I remember the most exciting thing that happened on the MARG was the dude, because they would you had the shitty TV and they would loop the movies through. And the most exciting thing on that MARG was when the guy running the movies decided it would be a good idea to play Blazing Saddles, so he got fired.
He got fired.
Not exactly a politically correct movie.
We actually had the workup, and then the parts of the ship, and we had some good times on the deployment. But
when you pull in, man, it was fun. Like we got to Greece and Italy a bunch of times.
But nobody's signing up to fucking hang out at the bar in Rota. Obviously we had the nice trip to Greece. It was lovely.
Greece was cool, yeah. That was my first time in Greece.
We went up to the Bosphorus Straits into Romania and
Bulgaria. We did that too.
We went to
Odessa, Ukraine.
Odessa, Ukraine. It was lovely. A lot of scenery, a lot of nice scenery, a lot of tall scenery.
Working with,
and then we pulled into Romania.
Romania was fun.
Yeah, but that's it, dude.
Dracula's castle.
Nobody signed up to be a Navy SEAL to hit a fucking port in vulnerable Bulgaria.
No, but. That is when mine is 1998 in Ukraine, and I figured out that even though they're corrupt as fuck, if you're working with a corrupt government, you will have the time of your life.
Yes.
I did as a 21-year-old single Navy SEAL in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Ukraine was fun.
So, yeah, I mean, I learned a lot from those guys. Like I said, that the E5 Mafia was real strong. Rob Yaney went on to great heights at Dev and then in the CIA. And now I follow his son on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. His son is a race car wonder kid.
Really?
So if you have the F1 series, I'm pretty sure. I mean, don't want to get me lying, but I think his son's like right below it, like an F2.
That's really cool.
His name's Hunter, and he's a stud, man.
Yeah.
I follow them on.
I got to check them out
on the World Wide Web. And stuff.
The World Wide Web.
No, it was a miserable platoon, but the good thing was those dudes made it bearable.
So at Team 2, we had there was 3 deployments: the MARG, which is the one we just talked about on the amphib.
The winter Yukon.
The winter and the summer Yukon, and then the strike.
And then the strike. Yeah,
and the
that would've been
Yukon,
great.
the Yukoms are where that was originally SEAL Team 2's gig.
Yeah,
Yukoms,
it was
and
the
then
gig.
8 did the MARG and the strike.
Yes.
And they bitched enough that they got some of the Yukoms, we got some MARGs and some strikes.
Yeah, they wanted to flip flop because the Yukon was the shit. You know, you immediately deploy overseas to that base in Stuttgart, Germany, which is actually, what was the name of that town? Bublingen.
Bublingen.
You know,
yeah.
and you're on this old German World War II base. It used to be Rommel's Panzer.
Dude, you can still see this, some of the engravings of the old Nazi
and
shit.
the Allies, because the forest was so dense, they never found it, like bombing. And
Yeah.
so it was all cobblestone. You know, we were eating like where all the Panzer Division guys were eating, and you could see where they had these huge bunkers where they would test the tanks, and it was awesome. But
Yeah.
you get over there, and they immediately hand you this big check of all your damn. And so
Yeah,
now
you were
making
getting
money.
big money over there, especially for a Navy guy.
Like you would start off and you get, and you gotta, you know, just for some context to the crowd is, you know, as like an E4, E5, you know, if you dollar cost average it out, you're making like 17 cents an hour with how
In the Navy.
long you're working.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you're not there for the pay. You're there to be a fucking Navy SEAL.
Right,
It'll be
right,
awesome.
yeah.
So if you
But the
think
pay is
about,
nice.
if you're thinking about, you know, the early 90s, or 95, 96, 97, 98, and you do a Yukon and they instantly hand you a $10,000 check.
It's big.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And that's per diem. Like you
It's
have
a
access
fuck
to
ton of money
Yeah.
to enlist guy.
It
and
is.
that's just a start. That's to get you going. And then you're filling out all the expense sheets. And so, yeah, that's why the Yukon was like the good deal.
Dudes, yeah, I remember dudes knocking out a couple of Yukon, and they'd roll up to the team on their new Harley and all this shit because you're still per diem is a good deal.
So I can remember vividly Elvis, who was the king of this shit.
Yeah, he was.
He did 4 Yukons in a row.
Yeah, back to back.
And he would just, they were like, we need a guy. And he's like, oh, I'll do it. Because he was single, ready to
Yeah,
marry.
why-
So he
I'll
was
live in
just
Europe.
fucking bankrolling all his money. He was getting all this DM. And I remember he had a real nice motorcycle. He's also real smart with his money. I think he had like 2 rentals at the time.
Yeah.
They finally made him come, because right when we checked in, because I can remember one time he actually, you know, talked to me. Right. not fucking.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I did 4 in a row. And, you know, they finally made me come home because they're like, dude, you actually got to do some training and get some schools.
He just
and all
stayed
that.
in Germany.
Well, dude, I would have done it indefinitely.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to figure what you're doing. You're in
Well, that's
Germany.
because you're over there doing the big, you want to at least have the, at least the chance to be on the big mish.
Yeah.
You ain't doing that in the States.
No.
And you're getting a fuck ton of per diem, right?
Well, because
and you're running the streets in Europe.
right around that time too. So you got Europe. You're going to Scotland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, all that stuff. But the chance, Team 2 is the only ones going to Bosnia, so you might get to pull the trigger in Bosnia. You don't know, maybe because this is before 9/11. When there's nothing on the horizon, we got Bosnia.
Yeah.
So maybe we can do something. But then the per diem comes in. That's big money for an enlisted guy at the time.
Yes.
Those are
Big
good
money.
deals. Yeah.
For anybody. I mean,
So
$10,000, $10,000, right?
Yeah, well, it's still great money. I'll
Anyway.
cut a check right now. What was the best like J sets you guys did on the Yukon? You said Estonia, Tallinn.
Yeah, so they what'd we do? We got there playing a lot of frisbee golf. what is the frisbee game they play? Like frisbee football, working out.
Yeah.
You know, you're running in the we got there and within 4 days we deployed to Bosnia. We were
Okay.
chasing war criminals around.
Yeah,
right?
the PIFWICs.
We got the whole team, and so we basically did that for 4 months. And I remember it snowing in Bosnia, but they were there on that joint base, and they had great food.
Yeah.
We were just like working out, and we would go to all the different bases, and we got to go on some missions. Basically, Deb Group would chase and find them, and then we'd meet up, and then we would accompany them back to The Hague. We'd have to fly them there, and then we'd fly back. And so
But at the time, that's high speed.
very high speed,
Instead of just
very high speed, low direct. It beat Snake and Shitters on the
Yeah,
mark. I can tell you
it
that.
beats playing soccer
Yeah.
with the Egyptians.
Yes, but exactly.
So the base in Bosnia, you finish. That's a Yukon deployment you're doing there. So you got the
Yes.
MARG, the Yukon.
So we come out of Bosnia, and then we went on this like 3-week trip to up through Germany. Half the platoon did. We went to train the Estonian like border guard, and the other half, or guys went to do like a jump trip with, I can't even remember the organization. But anyway, so we have like all these vehicles and we're loaded for bear. And, you know, we're driving up to Germany and then we take in the...
You drove to Estonia from Germany?
Yeah, we had all our guns.
Well, you went through every country then. You're going through Poland, then
yeah, so we pull into
Lithuania, Latvia,
Hamburg. We
Estonia.
pull into Hamburg. You know, we've got all the guns, all the ammo, all the bombs, all the everything, the grenades, and we got to unload all the shit, and then go take it in our room. And 2 guys had to stay watch, you know, right? Because we got all the crypto and everything.
Oh,
and then we'd go out and party, and the 2 bastards would sit when the Hotel Intercontinental was super plush. So we took turns doing this all the way up to, you know, we pulled into Helsingborg, Sweden, then we were in Stockholm, and then we took this ferry over to Estonia.
Right.
And it's funny because we were on this ferry, and people are like, wait, isn't this didn't there something in this sea? And they're like, you know, so we figure out like it was the summer before, the very same ship they were on with our vehicles had some sort of incident. The fucking thing sunk like in 90 seconds. Like, I mean, it was just washed. And so I can remember being like, God damn, man, this is.
What was it, a ferry? Or?
Yeah, it was a ferry. You know, so everybody was on there, we were drinking. You had a little, you know, partying, and then your car was there, and so we had to take turns sleeping in it. Yeah, man.
How long's the ferry
That
ride?
was a great platoon, though, Echo Platoon, because, you know, JR was the OIC, Quinn was the JR. Anderson was the OIC, and then Q was the AOIC, and then Chico was the chief, and then Scott Clark was the petty officer, and then, you know, Monty Heath,
great guy,
Mr. Dev was there, and then Drummy was in that.
Drummy,
and then we had Marty Shave Nuts, who then became Marty Toll, and Steve Webke went to Dev, and then of course we had Fifi, who was just an awesome
with the best
human being, and it was another stack platoon with a bunch of good dudes.
Fifi, Neil Roberts, Red Squadron guy,
So then we went and trained the Estonian border guard, and it was awesome. Then they pulled us back. No, we went to Scotland, and we were going to do a duck.
Yes.
And Macrohannish.
Explain a duck.
A rubber duck. And so they load you. So basically, you put all these boats and all your gear on a steel pallet, and then you attach this huge parachute to it, and they just shove it out the plane, and you go run it out after it. And then you know, it swoops down, and then, you know, that boat is, you know, ostensibly your rubber duck. Right?
Yes, it is good.
But they do it, you know, it was OTH, over the horizons, and then you know, put all the boat together, and then you know, invade the nation.
Yes. Did you jump in the...
You're going there to do stealth, to do like, you know, watch.
The OTH, the old over horizon, and then swim in, and then change out, get your dry shit on.
So we were going to do a duck and then, you know, practice the big mish, but then they're like, you guys got to go to Monrovia, Liberia, because that was at the time when it was like on the Ivory Coast, like every single year some government was being toppled, and at the time it was Charles Taylor, the cab driver from Detroit.
Names,
I was the only guy apparently had a fucking college degree in that country, and somehow, even though he was a cab driver in Detroit, took the whole fucking thing over, right? And then that was with all the blood diamonds and all that.
Oh yeah.
And so we were there. Yeah, because we were gonna do a Neo, but we were in the country. What's the country right next to it? Freetown or whatever. But the summer before, that was the one that was in, you know, political strife, and they were going to do a Neo. And so, you know, we went over there, and we were all on the ships and waiting, and we were on our PC boats, and it just.
I always liked the PC craft. Those were pretty cool.
Man.
Yeah, Taylor was still in Monrovia, Liberia when we went in 2003, and like they were eating each other, cannibals.
Yes.
And people don't realize Liberia is named after liberty, because we sent slaves to Liberia. It's named Monrovia, the capital, is named after President Monroe, who and their flag actually looks like a little bit. There's one star, red, white, and blue, and then they love America. They speak English there.
We were just waiting off the coast on our little PC craft, just waiting for a shot at the title.
Yeah.
You know, it was the summer before that. I had been on a PC craft when we did that little Black Sea tour, and it was me and Ashley, and it was one other person, and we came out of the Straits of Hormuz and hit this. The PC captain was kind of like a wild man, like a pirate, and I think the crew wanted him to pull into port, and he's like, "Fuck that." He's like, "What storm?" and I had taken a bunch of Dramamine just in case, but I was one of only 2 people on the ship that day that ate the meal. I mean, we were
really.
I was
well, the PCs are pretty small.
I know. And the storm we hit, when we would hit the the crest of the wave and go down. I remember the on the bridge the prop alarm would go off because the prop was
comes
coming
out of the water.
And when we pulled into Romania the next day, and it was like calm seas, we were there, and we went out to the front. And the superstructure of the front of the boat had been dented because of waves hitting it, man.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean it was powerful. But
So
I can remember having my foot, sitting there eating a ham like this. But I don't get motion sickness.
No,
So, and
it's
it helped because I took a fistful of Dramamine too. But yeah, I just went to bed and.
It's a Navy ship, but it's small. It's because like the difference between a ship and a boat. One of the differences is when a boat turns, it leans inboard. When a ship turns, it leans outboard. So it's a ship, but it's small. The skipper didn't want to. Who was recommending they go to port? And his skipper turned him down.
I think some kid, one of the youngsters, suggested it.
Oh, fuck him then.
I mean, the last thing you want to do is be in port in a big storm. Yeah.
But the skipper on a PC is like an 03, maybe an 04, right?
Yeah, exactly. But he's got the world his oyster. He didn't have to answer to anybody.
Fuck
it's his
him. Hey,
boat.
it's his
I mean,
boat.
He's judge, jury, and executioner, man.
Good on him for staying out there. But I mean, if
Yeah.
you're denting that hull with a wave,
Well, I don't think he knew that, but it got crushed for sure, man.
because you sinking that, you're going to lose some sailors.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been
Straits of Hormuz, Liberia. You guys are making your way around everything. This is all the same.
That was when we did the Straits of Hormuz into the Bosphorus Strait, whatever the fuck it's called.
The Bosphorus Straits.
That was the summer of '97. It was the summer of '98 was when we were hanging out at the coast of Monrovia, Liberia.
Yeah.
Looking for Charles Taylor and his cronies.
Yes, I think we relieved you at some point there.
And that pretty much
98,
we wrapped
because
it.
you know who was over in that AO right around 98 too was a guy by the name of Tiny.
Tiny.
It's big.
But that was a great deployment because Jocko had just made Seaman to Admiral.
Yes.
Seaman to Dev.
He got cap to E5. He got meritoriously promoted to
E5
E4,
to 01.
cap to E5, cap to E01, and then he checked into our.
So then he the officers, they don't want him sitting around. They want him to get experience. They always get these jobs, liaison to fuck all. And so he gets sent over to do, what was the name of the det that was in Bubligan and Stuttgart?
Unit 2?
Yeah, Unit 2. He's like a liaison to Unit 2.
Oh, Jocko over there for that?
Yeah.
Before
we met Jocko before Bravo. And so it was awesome, man, because Jocko, I mean, look, dude, he had been part of the E5 Mafia.
Oh, totally. He ran the
But
E5
he's
Mafia.
teaching us all jujitsu.
And jujitsu and comms.
And Jocko's just cool, man. And he's smart and all that. And he was doing it.
I got a kick out of when Jocko would roll around in his camis with the ensign bars, and the semi-experienced E5s that didn't know him would call him ensign. Hey, ensign, whatever, not knowing he's knocked out 3 platoons on the West Coast.
The bull ensign,
and he could, the bull ensign can put your fucking arms in your back
so
pocket.
So we finish up and we come right back, and then it was awesome because that was about the time that SEAL Team 8 was belly aching.
Yeah.
They wanted some UCOMs. And they're like, here, give us UCOM, we'll give you our strike.
Yeah.
Kind of split that good deal for Navy SEALs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we want our damn, Yeah. We want to be in Europe. And so we had to, that strike just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, because we gave them a Yukon, they gave us the Kennedy.
And then Q was like the golden child. And then I remember one day walking into the Platoon hut, and Q and Jocko just had big smiles. And I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Because I think, give me lying, Jocko, but I think Jocko was going to have to go to school.
Yeah, because the Seaman Admiral is...
At some point, I think he was somehow able to delay it and then go get that
a platoon and then knock out 4 years
exactly.
of college or whatever.
Because there was no way I thought he was going to be our AOIC, and then he was. And it was awesome.
Well, he went. The way Seaman Admiral program worked was, you leave as an E5, you go to OCS, and then you come in as an officer, and you do a platoon, and then you do your degree, then you come back as an OIC. Is what he was. So we got him as an ensign. And the only reason I got that was because I went to sniper school. I finished my first MARG, and they needed another sniper, so they picked me. They picked Richmond for comms and Giesel because he was.
So if we could hold on this screen, real quick.
Hold on this screen right here.
So the best thing about Bravo Platoon, it was stacked with guys, and so you had 16 dudes, And I think, we had like 7 chiefs in it. We really didn't, but
they started making chief though.
We had a bunch of PH1s that were real squared away, and they made chiefs while we were there. So we literally had too many chiefs and not enough Indians. But we had a great AOIC queue. We had Jocko, who was an AOIC. We had Jocko the Bull Ensign. We had a shit ton of
PR2 O'Neill over there.
Yeah, we were just stacked. We were real way ahead. We had a bunch of first class, and we had 3 chiefs.
Yeah.
And
because Tony made chief during it, Clark made chief.
And then we had a great time. Thomas Jesron, whose English got work every day. He's like, look at the size of my hands.
These hands, look at my hands.
These hands are so big. You puny man.
He'd call me Brother Russ. Brother Russ.
It was awesome. And so
that was a good platoon, man.
Was a great platoon.
That was when Jocko, I remember saying, we were talking about running and whatever, and he goes, I need everyone in this platoon to bench press 300 pounds. And I remember saying, why? And he goes, because if I get shot in my body armor, can you carry me? And that I use that to this day. And he would do shit when we were on the ship and stuff, and he'd say, what you want to do to gain weight is eat as much meat as you can, take a breath, and then eat more meat.
Yeah, so
he was always
a great
like that.
workup. I got to go to sniper school. I got to go to SATCOM school. We went to, what was that? Where we do the dive training?
Oh, shit. That was in January in Rhode Island.
Was that in January?
Yes.
Because it was were swim buddies?
Oh, God, that was cold. We got to break the ice before you hop in. And you don't want to wear a dry suit. You just want to wear a wetsuit. Just take the suck and let the neoprene warm around you. What town was that?
You and I both. I stayed out too late, and I slept through my alarm, and you did too. And they made you get done something, but you had to drive the demo truck home or all equipment. And I had to drive with you.
Yeah.
And I can remember I was so fucking hungover.
We used to party a little bit.
I was dying on that trip, man.
Oh, God, that was, Newport, Rhode Island.
Yeah, Newport, Rhode Island. On the way home, I was dying.
Oh, that was tough. We had to drive that fucking truck
driving in that box truck hungover.
That was a punishment. You sure you want to send the hungover guys to drive the goddamn box truck?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That was a trip. I had fun. Fort Chaffee was a great trip. Fort Smith, Arkansas. Fort Chaffee.
I think I was at sniper school then.
Oh, did you go to sniper school then? Okay.
Yeah.
No, we had a blast down there.
We can't forget we had a great LPO who had his own laundry list of character defects.
Yeah, SM1 Fat Cock.
But he was he was a great dude, man. He was.
Yeah, wonderful guy.
True story.
Scotty Neal.
I can say candidly, Scotty Neal fucking hated my ass, dude.
Yeah.
Because I really paid it because I was getting to do all these deployments real quick without doing any workup. And so he didn't see me. For somebody who's living and breathing the Navy SEALs, he saw that. It was like I was getting all these good deals. I wasn't paying the piper.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was in my ass. And he was a lot bigger than me. And and this was the great thing about just to explain to the viewing audience is like, team guys, even though, we don't all get along, but you're professional enough to do the job no matter what, even if you don't like the guy. But it also helps if you just let him go out back and figure it the fuck out in the Connex box, right?
That's very true.
Well, we didn't actually make it to the Connex box. It actually happened on a fucking range in front of everybody.
Yes,
but
it did.
it was towards the end of the workup, and we were at the range, and I was sighting in my gun, and he was talking shit to me about something. I can't even remember. But he popped off. Of course, I popped off back, and he came by, and he slapped me in the back of the head while I'm on the range. So I was just like, I can't believe that fucking asshole just did that. And put the weapon off safe, and I turned right around. He didn't know it was coming, but I wasn't gonna back down. I fucking just pushed him, and there was a big gun crate behind him, and it just sent him flying, right? And just so everybody knows, I mean, Scotty Neal was like twice the size of me.
Big
I had to rip
motherfucker.
my fucking arms right off. And then I pounced on him, and then everybody jumped in. And
Street
after
cred.
that, man, it was so fucking cool, man.
Yeah. Well, he was pissed because old school Team 2 guy, and it's not the deployment that counts; it's the workup and the deployment that counts. And then you come off on your third deployment or second deployment back to back. Then you go to sniper school. He's just pissed about that. Like,
yeah, he's like, "Are you ever going to do the fucking workup of this team? He goes, "You ever going to join this platoon?" Yeah, he told me that after I got to sniper school. He was hot.
Yeah, I remember when that happened too. I was surprised you jumped on him. That was but again, he was cool after that. I mean, again, he's
it wasn't the most opportune time. I mean, the Chiefs there, the OICs there.
Yeah, Chief was cool shit though.
Ideally, it's the two guys or in they're not. They're on their own in the Connex box. They're not in front of everybody in the middle of a live evolution.
Yeah. Live fire and two jackasses, two
but it worked,
E6s
man.
over there.
I mean,
Of
God rest his soul. Scotty was a great dude. He's a great Navy SEAL.
Love that guy.
It was untimely death, but it from that moment on, it was just nothing but. It was great.
Speaking of Platoon,
there, look at these guys.
Look at that young Drago right there in the middle.
Oh,
we got
you
a little
puny man.
couple bottles of Moet.
Yeah,
just sipping it classy right out the bottle.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure that's not sweat on us, just dumping it all over the place.
Yeah, no, it's great. Was that Christmas Day?
That was Christmas Day, yeah, because Mitchell was cooking and we had our Christmas party. So we're over in Bahrain, living at Lanali Plaza.
Yes, it was nice.
Everyone's on base. Everyone in the military. We got these flats out in town, out in Manama, Bahrain.
It was great.
Oh God,
it's 90 degrees, but we were there during Ramadan, so we had to, practice the local customs. I mean, we weren't praying to Allah 5 times a day, but we couldn't show any skin, so we were in.
We give him a hat tip.
Yeah,
twice a day.
yeah. But we were in long sleeves, and we were definitely walking around in trousers.
Oh yeah,
all the time.
Yeah,
But I'll just, add some context. Those poor bastards watching the base were in, all their uniforms were in 30 pounds of body armor, and it was hot.
It was hot.
It wasn't 130 degrees.
That was cool though, because the Kennedy, we're on the USS Kennedy, which is the last diesel powered aircraft carrier, which was cool though, getting on the flight deck. I'd never seen that before. Watching F-18s take off, and they still had F-14s, I think, taking off then.
I would say cyclic ops, which is when they're just running, they're landing planes and like nothing gets in the way of cyclic ops, man. They're turning the carrier into the wind, out of the wind. It's so loud.
That's badass.
And they're landing planes, and the planes are taking off. I mean, that's probably one of the coolest things.
You know what I loved about it too?
To the uninitiated, if you've never been on the carrier of the deck of an aircraft carrier when they're in cyclic ops.
Yes.
It's impressive.
It's really impressive. And I even like the Air Boss because it is a military operation, but it's so fucking fast. He's not even doing he's like yelling at people, fuck this, do this. Air Boss controlling the whole thing.
You're on the flight deck. You are feet away.
Oh, yeah.
From an F-15 or 14 landing and taking off, man.
And then the cables, the hook, and it's dangerous out there. Those are on the air,
Not to say that we cheated death all that, but dude, death does await every fucking buddy out there, man.
That was, and the justice there was the officers' wardrooms were right below the flight deck, so they got to hear those cats shooting every night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Yeah, cool spot though, man.
I mean, being on the JFK was kind of cool.
I liked it,
even though we were like only there 18 days. It was awesome.
Yeah, we got to.
So we're in Bahrain now. We get to do the big mish. We're doing maritime interdiction for all of this. All the bad guys smuggling oil and dates and what
dates. Well, this party here was funny because the guy on the left, Mitchell, was chef galore. We called him the Slackster Coffee House misanthrope. From Northern
he was a very
California.
genteel character.
But he's in the kitchen all day
upbringing,
and he's cooking it up, and the rest of the platoon goes in and starts exchanging Christmas gifts. And what we decided to do was we all bought each other a bottle of booze that described them.
And what I can, listen, being overseas with 16 guys, it's the most ideal situation, but we made the best of it and actually turned in probably one of the best memories I'll ever have.
Oh, hell yeah, that was awesome.
Because everybody bought a bottle of booze and then told a story. And, the chief bought a bottle of Early Times and gave it to O'Neill because O'Neill's never been on time in a day in his fucking life.
Was slow Neil.
Before he was Nesro, Navy SEAL Rob O'Neill, he was slow Neil.
I had a propensity to show
Rob is very deliberate in everything he does, man. Very, very deliberate, very intentional.
Why are you late? What did Jeff Spicoli say? Just couldn't make it on
just
time.
Couldn't make it. Oh, I'm the asshole.
How many 5? I don't know any better.
Yeah. So that just turned.
Drago looks like he's about 16 in that picture.
He does. He looks like he's got a few in him, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. He does. Look at the size of those hands.
Big hands. So it was a good time, and then for the era that we were in, we were getting to do the big mish.
Yeah,
we took down the Vulgan F.
The Vulgan F was a Russian tanker smuggling Iraqi oil, and that's when the two things that were funny is one guy popped a. Well, I was up in the bird. I was a sniper on that op, but somebody popped
the bounding Overwatch
a padlock on a drawer full of silverware, and he goes, "Real world breach." It's like, technically yes. And then one of the guys was taking on the steak knives. Like, oh, good, take their weapons.
Yeah, but then we left a fucking 6-foot pickaxe. I mean, yeah. And so then the ship it had so much oil on it. It had like the forward operating speed like 4 knots. Remember, it took like 4 days for us to get into Oman.
Drive us to Oman, yeah.
Oman, and we were so we would do it in shifts, and we would come on and off, and take turns with the watch, and at the end. We dumped the body armor. We dumped everything. We were just going on there with balaclavas and our guns. And, we got to know those Russian guys kind of well. It was almost like the Stockholm Syndrome.
It was kind of funny, yeah.
And after like 2 days, they were like, this is bullshit. We want our TV back. Right?
Yeah.
And then they just sat around watching Swedish porn the whole time. And we did too.
Yeah, Swedish porn and MP5 full of 9 mil ball.
We already saw this scene. Fast forward. Yeah, it was great, man.
We've already seen this scene. I know how this one's ended. It's not good
but
for
I mean, at the time, we were
porn,
like the lead story on all the newses. And it was a thing, the Vulgan F. And, we were, the time is as close to cheating death as you could come.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That was the big mish.
As the Vanilla Seals, we got to do it. They didn't even let Dev.
Dev didn't get over there in time.
Those poor bastards.
That package they got from Oceania, we can do it because we're already here. Stand by.
Yeah, that was one of the times where being in the Vanilla teams really paid off, right? Sorry, Dev, we got to do it. Yeah, no, it was great.
That was at the big mish. So that was.
Hey, but can you cut to the picture where we're in the granite and
yeah. There's a picture of us
and we're
in
Bahrain.
desert camouflage,
and they got the tent over us, and I'm on the computer.
If you can find it, let's see.
They're gonna do it.
Yeah, they're looking for it.
Keep going.
Well, there we are on the range.
Look at Rob O'Neill looking good.
Oh, look at those young studs. Bull E5 and the Bull E6.
Yes. Keep going.
Keep going. There's going to be one more where that one.
All right.
There it is.
There's a couple pictures. So,
this story.
We were supposed to train these Bahrainian guys to do
recon and surveillance.
Recon and surveillance. So we get out there, and it's the the 4 snipers of apocalypse. It is Paget and Brad Fulmer,
O'Neill and Drummy,
and Drummy and Slow Neil. All right, so we get out there, and we're supposed to do recon. I'm working the computer and all the SATCOM and taking the pictures and doing the things.
Tell them about we're going to dig a hide in the soft
sand.
So
we go out there. So we've been doing the big mesh, and then we come back, and just so the viewing audience knows this, we've just been fucking off in Bahrain because there's a saying, the eyes of Allah don't shine down on Bahrain.
Oh, yeah.
It's where the Brits started the banks, and so all the dudes would come over the bridge in Saudi Arabia. And so since Allah can't see Bahrain, that's where all the drinking and all the merrymaking.
We were definitely drinking with Al Qaeda.
All the debauchery, everything. We were definitely drinking with Al Qaeda.
Yeah, they showed up because
there's a few years later they started having real problems. But we're walking around like we own the fucking place. So they're like, all right, let's do some training. We're gonna train some Bahrainians to do RNS out in this godforsaken island, right?
Fucking granite mine.
So we get out there and what we needed was some titanium pickaxes because you can see.
Look at that shit.
We thought we were going to be digging into dirt. We were digging into straight granite rock.
We'll be done in 40 minutes digging.
I don't think that I'm, overselling this at all. I mean, we were out there for like 12 fucking hours.
It's hammering granite
because now we're like, well, we're here. We actually got to do it. But it's just like clang, clang. And
sparks flying.
We would have been dead. If this is a real world mesh, we'd have been dead in
no doubt
30 seconds. They would have found us.
Fedayim Sadan would have been there in no time.
So after 12 hours, we're dying, right? We've gone, what, a foot maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
And so
I mean, you can see the wall.
There's me, and I don't have any problem saying that I was doing everything while Drum and Slow Neil and Brown. And so like Slow Neil wakes up long enough to take a picture.
Snap a picture. I got
bullhorns. What I do remember that was we got home after the mission, and then traditionally when you're training or you go on the mission, like all the dudes that aren't there are there to greet you and get your gear and take it and then clean it, and then they got pizzas and everything waiting for you. And we were done and having a good time, and I thought, well, I thought we were supposed to like do some ops RNS with the Bahrain crack special forces team. I was like, those dudes never even showed up. They're like, no, remember when those 2 dudes came and just kind of kicked some rocks around and like, oh, hey, how's it going?
And left.
He goes, that was it. That was
them training.
Yeah.
Good job.
But I can vividly remember laughing our fucking asses off.
That was funny.
Even while we were digging through this granite foxhole.
You were the only one working. Me and Drum were having a competition who could sleep the longest.
Yeah, it was because we made the best of it. I was having a good time. Look,
that was funny.
That's why I wanted to be a radio guy by the officer because I always wanted to know what was going on. So That's not really work. Me, you know.
And what are you
me
reporting
talking
back?
on? Yeah. That dusty hill over there's got nothing in it. We saw some. We got some farmer tending to his chickens.
We've been compromised by a camel.
Oh yeah, we've been compromised by a camel. But yeah, no, I've lived for that shit because I'm on the. You know, I got.
But we were all out. We'd had the chicken wire with the tarps, cover it with the rocks, all that shit. I mean,
it was so.
But like, if we were at war with drone warfare like they're doing now, we're dead.
It was so
dead.
bush league.
There's a bunch of assholes in a bowl.
Yeah, I would have been dead in 15 seconds.
My soft.
Here's Brad Fulmer in his OPSEC trying to, you know,
cover up the
yeah,
face.
Sorry, Brad. We figured out your.
They would have pages from into the
that
into
mustache
thin air.
is starting to work my side of the street.
That was fun. So we knock out that platoon.
And then I come back.
The Millennium Party was there. How did we get back from that deployment? Because we didn't ride the ship.
They
back.
actually kept us late. We got to fly home, but that deployment lasted 7
Oh,
months.
we flew
too.
a C5 home, didn't we?
Yes.
The big dog.
Yeah, we did. Remember, we flew a C5.
We flew a C-130 over.
A C-130 over?
No, didn't we?
Look, there we go. See, there's Fulmer still. Look at Fulmer.
What's he
still
doing?
fucking sleeping.
Yeah.
Rob is woken up long enough taking.
I'm
another
taking that
patch of
picture, man.
Scooby. Look at the fucking side of that wall. I mean, that thing is just straight rock that we had to dug
it's a
through.
granite.
We were there
mountain.
for 12 hours, like a bunch of
They
assholes.
just bombed that shit in Iran. That's exactly what it looks like.
So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we had the Millennium Party, and then were we home? We went over in October. When did we get home? Like Easter sometime?
Right around Easter, April, I think, because we had Thanksgiving and Christmas and Millennium Party, and then
we hit all the holidays. This was so we hit Halloween. We were gone. Thanksgiving we were gone. Christmas we were gone. New Year's Eve we were gone. Valentine's Day we were gone.
Damn.
Nobody gives a shit about Valentine's Day.
It's not a real
it's
holiday.
gay. Let's be honest. Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. But we skipped. Our wives didn't think that. They
were mad
our
about that
families.
shit.
Yeah. So we missed them all, right? Yeah. We hit the big. Did we get home before Easter or after Easter?
I want to say just before Easter.
Yes.
I was single at the time. My birthday's in April, so I was trying to get back
Single,
to
ready to mingle.
Bob Beach.
Yeah.
See
the hot tuna.
See what the frog hogs are up to.
Yeah, the hot tuna. It was
What's
lovely,
up?
right?
What's up, broads?
You broads are so hot.
You broads are so hot. Take your shirts off and start kissing.
That's our shout out to Howard Stern, right?
I've done his show.
What?
I've been on.
Oh my god,
dude, that was a trip.
One, he's tall, he's funny.
He's funny as shit.
He's
He was
really
totally
smart too.
Yeah,
man.
he was cool. That little green room, the famous green room, is right there. They got a Fender speaker, but it's actually just a refrigerator. You walk in, boom, there's Howard Stern. You sit on that couch and try not to get the syphilis all over yourself.
They want you drinking on that show.
Oh yeah, they want you
because
they want you to do
up.
whatever you can do.
But you broads take your tops off. You guys are so hot.
You hop on the Sibian. Tell me what it feels like.
Yeah. No, it was great, man. That Millennium Party was awesome, and then we come back, and then you.
I went right after it again. I did my first.
Were you
Yukon.
was Drummy in your platoon?
Yeah, me and Drummy went to the Yukon.
And then I was the schools coordinator.
Now, how did that go? Because you're good.
Well, because I was real good at
Yes.
I wanted that by that time. I wanted to get out and go to grad school. And and make some cash.
Yeah.
And
let me read your paddle.
Oh, please.
So Drummy wrote it. Now the paddle is a Navy tradition. You give someone a paddle. It's a plaque.
Real quick, if you guys want to.
Oh, there's a picture of the paddle. It looks like a plaque almost.
It's a glass paddle
see.
with our inscription. Keep going.
There
we go.
I'm going to read it to you. So usually you have a buddy with a sense of humor write your plaque for you so you can keep it forever.
So the guy that was on the last show, Steve Drum, who is hysterical and really one of the best guys on the planet. He's
fantastic
awesome.
dude.
He was pretty much wrote this whole thing. Drum is still a good friend of mine, even though I don't see him very well. We went to sniper school together, and I used to hang out with him and his wife and my wife at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just an awesome dude. And he's also hysterical.
Oh, yeah. So you'd have a smart buddy who's funny write your plaque for you. It's about yourself. It usually rhymes. And you get to read in front of the team when you leave. So this is Scott Paget. It's for PH1 SEAL, Scott Scooby Paget.
Yes.
February 96 to February 01.
Mm-hmm.
That's, yeah. It says 1 workup, 3 cruises. What a good deal. Look at that chin. Jay Leno Jr. is a SEAL. With a cancerous wit and loads of wisecracks, you can usually find him rifling through all of your snacks.
All very true. I like my snacks. I got a rapier wit. There you go.
It's MAR Ops, no time for tomfoolery. Got to find enough flotation for all of that jewelry.
So the context behind that was I used to wear some 550 cord around my neck and had a grenade pin, and nobody in the teams gave a shit, but like the Marine Corps, man, it drove them nuts. I mean, there might as well have been a swastika, and then I had this. I always wore my wedding ring, and I also had this bracelet. So I wore about as much jewelry as you could get away with for a Navy SEAL, right?
And then the next line is, started grappling, got pretty good on the mat until you finally got choked out by the football bat.
The football bat would be Steve Drum.
That was Drummy. Football bat's another one. You were a soup sandwich, or you were fucked up like a football bat?
Drum is obviously a really big dude. He liked taller than me, a lot buffer, and yeah, he did. He choked me out really good, man.
Yeah, he got a little temper on him sometimes.
Yeah,
you're overseas a lot, not with the family.
He was like 6'2", 225.
He's a big dude.
And so,
athletic guy too.
I got my medicine that day.
But see, it's good that he's got a sense of humor because he did let you go.
Yes.
Let's see. In that truck full of demo, you should have driven more slow. You locked up the brakes and screeched by the CO. I remember that.
So as a news guy, I was driving a big 6x6 truck full of weapons and stuff, and yeah, I almost ran the fucking CO over. So I wasn't watching him. Wasn't my finest moment, but obviously it's funny now, right?
Yeah. Well, this one's funny too. A great calm guy but voice procedures a bit sloppy. The Des Run didn't care for. Solid copy.
So when we go on all these missions with the Commodore, the Admiral will be listening, and I just like when somebody would say what they said on their side, I wouldn't say over. I'd just say solid copy. And
they hated that.
He was like, "What the fuck is that guy?" And they're like, "I think he's saying he understands you, sir." And yeah, it drove his ass nuts.
Oh, and so this next line here. Before you checked in, Q said to us, yes, this guy Scott Paget is coming to the platoon. He speaks a different language, and before you know it, you'll be speaking it too.
Yes.
And so this next line.
I want you to tell the story about.
Oh yeah, I'll tell that one next. Because this next line says, "A good friend and one hell of a SEAL. You can get your Sammy on now and be keeping it real." The reason with that was I was in Bahrain walking with some broad on the base, some Navy chick. And we're walking wherever, the bowling alley, whatever you do. And Paget's walking this way. And so I'm with this chick. And I go, "Paget, what's going on?" You go, "Oh, I'm just going to the right and tight, get my Sammy on."
You want dibs?
Yeah, you want dibs. And the girl goes, "What the fuck did you say?" He goes, "Oh, he's going to the deli to get a turkey sandwich. Would you like one?" Leaving us now for your master's degree. No more 5 stars. DM or cable TV. Fortune favors the bold. SEAL Team 2.
Fortune favors the bold.
How cool is that, man?
And I would say in a candid moment, I love the fact that when I'm around somebody and I wear off on them, like I know my brother or my friends, they'll all tell stories that once they've spent a lot of time around me, their significant others are just like, they'll say something and their head will snap. They're like, "You've been fucking hanging out with Paget, haven't you?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude.
Because I do have my own like slang language.
Dude, totally. You started that thing. We all were saying it. It was like, Libs, DM 5 stars, and there's a fucking cable TV.
Dev. So I have this friend from Florida State, Tommy Fay, and he's there with a friend of his, and they're watching Slow Neil when he's on the chicken dinner stuff, and Fay's just like, "This is fucking bullshit. Paget wanted to see. There's no way." We're gonna go walk up to Slow Neil. So they're standing in the autograph line like a couple of bitches, however long it takes. And so they march right up and they're like, "Do you know Scott Paget?" And O'Neill hadn't seen me in forever, and he goes, "Fuck yeah, I know Paget." And he's like, without skipping a beat, he says, "That guy speaks his own language, doesn't he?"
Uh-huh.
And it was a good moment for me. I'm gonna tell you, it was a real good moment.
It was, yeah, and it was funny because I'd seen you.
It was Tommy Fay and Ricky Quick.
Yeah. The first time I saw you, though, too, I could see all of those mannerisms. I could see why they hated you walking across the fucking grinder at Bud's. I could hear just the looks like, is this guy got an attitude or is that just how he looks? And then he started talking. It's like, I'm going to start talking like this.
It's interesting because I'll tell you where this has become a real advantage in the corporate world, especially with, working with all these trial attorneys is, I would say that most people would describe me as probably being one of the most genuine people they've ever met because I'm not trying to act like anybody. I just am. And so everybody's like, "There's no way this fucking asshole's putting he's just," yeah. And so I would say it really helps to bridge the gap. in a very short time because they do take you at face value. Because they realize that you're genuine, you're just being yourself.
Well, that's the whole thing too.
And once you're genuine, then that's how you build trust, and you're able to, develop interpersonal relationships very quickly.
And that is a quick thing too, because I mean, I don't know how to say you could come off as cocky, but the second you start talking to you, genuine is the best way to describe you. And I'm not kissing your ass. Very genuine,
very genuine.
big heart, really care, and
there's a lot of layers. To Scott Paget,
it's not so much you care about what people think of you. You care about how they're doing. Like it's a fine line, but that's genuine.
And that's good because I think that when anybody meets anybody, they think three things, right? Do I like this person? Can I trust them? And do they give a fuck about me?
There you go.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I would say for the things that got me beat in the Navy SEAL teams and in Buds, I mean, fucking hammered the shit out of me. Which, look, I deserved every fucking minute of it, every second of it. Man.
Yeah, but you didn't whine about it.
No. The first platoon had fucking had it with me, man. And we were at CQB, and they came in at Shaw's school, and they snuck in the middle of the night and just beat the ever living shit out of me.
Did they
and
really?
And then they got one of the corpsman boards. Thank God it floated. And they strapped me to it. But then they started making funnies because they were like running around the pool. This is November in Memphis. And they're like, Helo's going down. Helo's going down. And I just remember thinking, they threw me, I was like, don't let me drown.
No shit. Because
and they tossed me in, and I immediately flipped over.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
And so now I'm freezing water. And
you can't breathe. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they got Ashley and Lemons fish me out.
Yeah. And thank God they were all sober, I'm sure.
No, they weren't.
I know they weren't. They get drunk. Let's go beat the fuck out of the new guy. Fucking meat.
But true. I mean, Rob Yaney then, as they were untaping me, he came over and very calmly was like, dude, you need to get your shit together. So.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. So.
Sometimes a code red works.
It does. It does, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was,
like in Colonel Jessup's over there, too.
Lieutenant
Kendrick, too.
I would say, you get over it after about a year. When the sleeping with, when you're like the potential drowning.
Fucking wake up to Dawson and Downey above.
Yeah, you're like, motherfucker. You do, how you just get, be thinking something, and then you think about that, and you get to shit. Oh, yeah. God damn, man, that sucked.
Well, I mean, being taped to a medical board, too, like that. That's a waterboarding type situation where they don't have to let me out of here. Mm-hmm. That sucks. Mm-hmm.
But for all the things that got me, hazed and hammered in the teams, it's being like now being out in the real world, especially in working with a bunch of personal injury toilers, like high level I'm at the the very top of the food chain. These like a real trial attorney in the personal injury. I mean, they're taking on billion-dollar multinational corporations, man. All those dudes are studs, man. Mm-hmm. A great trial attorney walks around like he's got a 12-inch cock, man.
Good.
Because and they have the confidence. Because let's be honest, if you're a dude and you got a 12-inch cock, man, you're living a good life, right?
Yeah. You're winning at that part of life.
It's a quiet confidence, man, and they're all destroyers. But being in a space where it's very male dominated in the personal injury trial space. At when there are these huge catastrophic cases, being able to speak dude real well comes.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. Well, because I am. I mean, dude, look, I got testosterone flowing out of my ears, and I do speak dude real well. Like I would, being a Navy SEAL helps. Playing sports, being in that, the locker room atmosphere, playing athletics and being part, I would say that I do very well in when I'm part of something that's bigger than me, 1,000%. So.
And you're digging what you're doing now?
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man, for sure. Like I said, I work with some of the best law firms in the fucking known universe.
Yeah.
And just to give some context to people, I work for a private equity / hedge fund that's got billions of dollars, and so your grandmother gets run over by a Budweiser truck, the corporation's going to be like, yeah, no, it wasn't us. And you're like, well, we saw a Budweiser there, right? And then you're like, well, we have a video to prove it. You're like, well, it still wasn't our fault. I mean, they just say no, no, no. And so you have to take on these huge insurance carriers. And I'm sorry that I used Budweiser as an example because I love Budweiser. This is talk about a huge multinational corporation. They never admit fault. They never want to give you a dime.
They're going to outlast you.
because they have the money. What we do is we even the playing field because we help the individual lawyer with the case cost to get the, you know, if the client has some personal living expenses needs because they can't work anymore because they've been running about a fucking Budweiser truck or whatever it is, right? Then we can loan money to the clients to help them out for their living expenses, medical expenses, the lawyer, because at that point it becomes down to a leverage game.
Yes, it
You know,
does.
the corporation knows it can outlast you.
They can get a lot of lawyers.
And they get a lot of lawyers. And it just comes down to the waiting game. So we help, you know, insurance companies are the biggest funding companies on the planet.
Yeah.
So we're just leveling the playing field. We're looking out for the little guy. And it's awesome. You know, I have to go to meet clients in the middle of nowhere and, you know, they're quad patients or they have huge traumatic brain injuries and they're, you know, almost they can't take care of themselves at all. And so I get a tremendous amount of satisfaction.
Good. Yeah, that is. There's got to be. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it took a long time, about 3.5 years, but there's 2 huge law firms in the country that are like one's like I had the SEAL Team 6, Arnold Nicken. I've got to, you know, it took me a while to get in with them, but I've got one big case. I mean, Colonel Arnold, we're talking about, they're at the very top.
Yeah.
And then right below him is a group with Nick Rowley and Jacob Norman called Trial Lawyers for Justice. So if Arnold Nicken is the SEAL Team 6 or DEV group, you know, Trial Lawyers for Justice is the Army version of that, which is.
I'm not going to say it.
What?
I get enough shit as it is. Just
the Army Tier 1 nation, right? Yeah.
Just they're on the level, just different.
Just on the level, they're just different. And so, you know, I've become incredibly close with these lawyers. I'll just give them all a quick shout out from the West Coast. Is, you know, Ray Kermani out of L.A., Joe Rich out of Corpus Christi, all the guys in Mississippi that I work with, Maggio, Monty Tons, Philip Hearn, Boo and Drew Hollowell are up in the Mississippi Delta. My boy Jason Bear in New Orleans. Shane Mullins, who is one of my personal favorites right now in Dallas. I just went to Vail with them. I mean, he is pro-American, pro-Texan. He's 2A all the way.
Yes.
Loves Trump. You know, I sometimes it's a little embarrassing, but I will say candidly, I really like it because Shane loves the fact that I'm a Navy SEAL and loves introducing me. He you know, he gives me my flowers all the time. But he's like a great dude. I told him I was going to go on the show.
Yeah, cool.
And give
Is
him
he finally going to believe you that you were a Navy SEAL? Or?
Well, no, Shane's never not believed me that I was Navy SEAL. Those were my college buddies.
I've had dudes tell me I'm full of shit, so who knows? Maybe we're just on the podcast both full of shit.
Yeah. So, no, it's a ton of fun, man.
No, that's really cool.
It really is. And we were making 17 cents an hour as a Navy SEAL, right? And but now it's like once you are a team guy, you know, is it a get out of jail free card the rest of your life?
It helps.
It sure does.
It doesn't always get you out of trouble.
It does. I think it gives you a leg up.
It does.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, because you really have Scotty Neal. I really did pay the piper as it relates to life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. God rest his soul.
And it helps you, you know, I think you're at a tremendous advantage when you get out in the real world, you know, because...
Well, I think once you realize, too, not just the name Navy SEAL, but your ability to communicate, your ability to work with people, lead, be led, I said communicate before, stress management, problem solving. I learned how to ask a question because of being a SEAL, how to ask a question. I don't understand this. You know, the whole thing in the classroom, who doesn't understand? I don't. Like, just... You know.
Yeah, you're never going to get dinged for saying, I don't know.
Never.
But I'll find out. But like bullshit. And it too is like, you know, once you are a Navy SEAL and you work with a bunch of type A, highly motivated individuals, right? And you're definitely part of something that's bigger than yourself. You gravitate towards that.
Yes, indeed.
But that doesn't mean that it happens all the time in your life. I mean, look, life is not a constant high, so you're constantly going through the ups and downs. And then, but once you do work with a tier 1 organization, and the SEALs, you search for that.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of your life.
Yeah.
And you don't always get it. But you can, when you do find that, and I have that now, you know, you grab it. I call it you catching lightning in a bottle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the organization I work at right now, we're extremely well funded. It's funny, my boss, who's the chief revenue officer, Kyle Kimberger, he's a coon ass from Southern Louisiana. He is... He's 15 years younger than me.
Wow.
But he channels Chandler Comerford.
Okay.
He's like he's has the best soft skills of anybody I've ever met in my life. And there are moments where I can tell he's like, Paget, could you just not be you for the next 5 seconds?
That's so funny.
There's a common theme. I always have I always have this warm, I always have this, I always have this like cool, even keeled, like warm guy looking after me in prison, like Shawshank. Patrick Yoder,
right.
and Chandler Comerford, and now it's Kyle Kimberger. And let's be honest, man, I need that. I would describe myself as an absolute fucking force of nature. And I feel like I can accomplish things on this earth that nobody can.
Yeah.
Especially if, given, you just let me loose. But, I also need, I need that.
Yeah, but it's a great fit.
Yeah. I need, like I said, I need that cool, like they call me the muscle, right?
Love it.
Yeah. But I need like that, that Overwatch, that protective umbrella.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, like Shawshank.
That's
Yeah.
fun. I love how you said you'll never get dinged for saying I don't know. And that's kind of the same thing as you're never going to get criticized by someone who's doing more than you. And that's the kind of guys you want to be around.
I would agree.
Yeah.
1,000%. Yeah, but it's tough. You get called out in certain professional situations, that's an ego-filled moment. And if you're humble and you can take it, you're like, I don't know, but I'll find out.
There it is.
But at that moment, you're going to have to eat some fucking, some crow,
as long as
right?
you're not making an excuse, I don't know. Or I'm an idiot. I fucked up. As opposed to lying, a lie turns into a bigger lie and a bigger lie because you have to remember the shit you were saying. If you just own it.
If you're explaining, you're losing. And I'll tell a story here about Jay Magnavis, who I call Magnavice, and I had seen the dude. Yeah. So I do this like adventure race. I did an 18 and 19, and I haven't done it since then because I had a young son. But now I'm back in. There's no fucking way I'm going to die on this earth without finishing this fucking race. It's called the Texas Water Safari, and they give you 100 hours to go 262 miles, right, in a canoe or a kayak, or some people do it on a paddleboard, but they've got a screw loose. And so you have to go 100 miles. It's in the Texas heats, the first week in June. You have to do like 30 portages over like dams and all kinds of stuff. But it's the coolest thing, one of the coolest things I've ever done. And you've getting to see people in Texas and parts that you'd never see, right, on these rivers unless you own these pieces of property. And because it's almost all private land that you're going through on this river. And so I do the race the first year, and as I was telling you earlier, I was well trained and we were putting in the time, and I get the bright idea to I was like, well, I'm going to drop 5 pounds right before the race because 5 pounds is going to be a lot over 262 miles. So
I see where this is going.
I get some of my buddy's wife's diet pills and I take them. Thinking quickly, Scott Paget. Note to self: don't take diet pills before a ultra.
How far before the starting pistol did you take the diet pills?
It was a couple days, man.
Oh,
yeah. And so then too, I was like, well, we're going to be miserable out there. We're going to eat whatever I want. So I was eating like Wendy's triple meat cheeseburgers for calories. Yeah, And to let the viewing audience know, it's more of a. At that point, it's more of a science experience and a putting out evolution because you got to start off really hydrated.
Yeah,
right?
and diet pills aren't going to do that.
You got to stay ahead. I would say that, I went to the bathroom and my urine smelled like a burnt ham, and I was done. I was never going to catch up. I was drinking Pedialyte the whole time, and I was done. You cannot catch up.
No, not in that heat.
Yeah, and so I got heat stroke and had to go to the hospital, and it sucked. And I can remember walking back in the house. And I get a text from Jay Magnavice, and he's just like, you quit the fucking water safari, and I'm just like, I'm at that point I'm like, so then I'm like sending text the length of the screen, like explaining my situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent a screen length text, and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, sure. And then I sent another one. And he's like, right. And then I sent another one. Then he's like, whatevs. And then I sent the last one. And he's like, gay.
Just keeping it short and sweet.
Which is my favorite, just to let everybody know. I like Ken Young on
Dr. Ken.
on Parks and Rec. I mean, that
Gay.
Yeah, I mean, I probably receive and send that 10 times a day. I just met Rob's lovely wife for the first time last night, and as soon as I said, "Oh," she just followed right in suit. I mean, it was in sync. It was a great moment.
Step.
Yeah, and so, but to that end is, the team guys are always keeping you on your toes, man. I mean, having to explain myself to Magnavise was awful, man.
But his responses are perfect. And, and he's a funny dude. Like he's
Jay
really
Magnavise
sharp
is
dude.
hysterical. So fast forward, that was 18. I hadn't seen him, and Jay's is a private pilot. When he was over at Dev, they had a lot of cool things. So
a couple super.
I think he's
programs.
flying like G6s for a
That's
couple
so
billionaires
badass.
right now.
He
Yeah,
should
he
be.
is a stud.
Well, he's always had that mentality too, because when you're flying, you got to have your shit together. Your emergency procedures, keep a cool head. He's always been that guy.
The motorcycles at very high speed, the cars. So I was at an event for a bunch of lawyers. It was a couple Christmases ago, and I see this dude because I hadn't seen Jay in a long time. He had a beard, and I was looking at him, and I kept looking at him, and it was like 20 minutes, and then I'm like, "There's no fucking way that's Magnavise." And so then I saw him, and he saw me, and we walk up, and it was funny. Like the big group didn't know me, and he starts laughing his ass off. So then we're sitting there hugging each other like a couple of fags. We're like, for like 30 seconds, man. And there was looking like, what's the matter with these two guys, dude? But it was an awesome moment.
Yeah,
I love Jay, and
it's something
I should call him the next time. It was awesome.
Run into someone you haven't seen in a while, just hit it off like it hadn't missed a beat. That's
Sorry,
so
I should have said a couple Strazans. But it was great, man.
That's cool.
And I wouldn't. I'm finishing that fucking race.
All right, yeah. Where since we're gonna start wrapping it up, where can people find you? Where should they look? You don't have a website yet, but we should get one, and then you got to talk.
I would say that to anybody, like how much I love this job. I would say like to my friends or families or anybody on the show, like if they needed a recommendation, if something's happened in their family, or their friends or anybody, I mean I cover the whole. I'm the vice president of development for this hedge fund. I could give them a recommendation to the best attorney in their area that's really going to help them out. And I don't get anything out of it. I could just do it to help out the cause. But I'm on the LinkedIn.
There you
go. To our platoon mates from Bravo. I tried to organize a reunion and then realized I didn't have anybody's numbers. I talked to Thomas Gisron for like an hour one day on the phone, and he was supposed to get some numbers and didn't.
Drago.
And then and then quite frankly, I didn't get my numbers either. But I want to get everybody's number here. I think we probably have half of them.
Yeah, I think between the ones we do have, we can find the rest. I'm sure Drago's got a lot of them. He just didn't get pushed to do it. But I mean,
we need to get a more concerted effort.
I think he'd be all about it. Drago's that type of guy that would love to get the crew.
I mean, that was a great platoon.
Yeah.
And, Jocko's probably going to be a little hard to pin down. But
yeah.
Hopefully we can borrow the mustard jet and.
Yeah, what the hell, man? I'd like to get.
I know
on board.
Jocko's pretty flush.
Yeah, he's done well for himself.
Yeah, he has me. Yeah, he'll be a billionaire one day, and then I have big plans for Jocko. I'm going to call him out right now.
Okay,
I want that motherfucker to run for president.
Okay,
he's got the chops. He's got the pedigree. Certainly the best leader I've ever.
Yeah, he's one. I mean, I can't say enough good. I can't think of a non-positive thing to say about him.
Just to tell everybody, like Jocko was one of those dudes that he wasn't a screamer and a yeller, but he had such a presence about himself. And I'm not even being up his ass right now, dude. It's when you got and it wasn't even a tongue lashing. He would say things like, "Yeah, you're not doing this correctly," or "You need to do better."
You're better than that.
And when he would call you out, I can't even describe how small that you would feel in that
letting him
moment.
down. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was awful, man. And I'm sure most of the people that work for his organization know the same thing now. I mean, Jocko's a transformative individual. And
oh yeah,
I'm not gonna let that fucking dude off the hook. I see a presidential run in the future.
He can do it. Dude. He's got the following. He's got the. I'm
going to run security.
Right.
Actually, no. I'm going to be his PR consultant.
There you go. Yeah.
Exactly. Thinking quickly.
PR.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Public relations. I got you.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
That'll be interesting.
What I will run is because I'm going to run fundraising for that campaign.
Okay.
We're gonna
I want to get on the campaign
somebody
trail.
with a higher degree of soft skills and diplomacy is going to run the PR department. But I can absolutely run campaign finance and fundraising, dude. And
very cool.
Slow Neil will be stumping for all the speeches. Somebody's got to get out and warm up the crowd.
I'll warm up the crowd, and I'll be a lobbyist. I can do that shit. I can open the doors. I can give a quick motivational speech.
So I hope we can pull this off. What do you got coming up this year? I know, what do you give, like 2-3 speeches a month?
Yeah, a couple a month. Yeah.
You're building your brand. It's awesome.
We're working on a couple things. We got the apparel company, RJO Apparel, Operator Canna, the cannabis company for PTSD, sleep deprivations, things like that. A couple, the oars in the water. I don't mind chilling out a little bit.
I got my fingers in every pie on the rack. So we're gonna give ourselves we're gonna give ourselves for the Bravo Platoon reunion. We'll put this warning order out right now. Let's give ourselves a nice runway. Right?
Yeah.
Fall of 2026.
Fall 26. I like that. And then, you could almost...
Jocko, we're going to get with your PR team and make sure that muster's not then.
Yeah.
And,
even having it with a muster. The old guys from Bravo Platoon watching Jocko PT the people that for some reason want to work out with that guy.
Those poor bastards. Can you
What
imagine?
the fuck are you thinking? I have so many people say, I've been doing the Jocko workout. I'm cool, you're going to die in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's a 1%er, man.
So, yeah, and I know, Q... I know Q's got a lot of discretionary time and resources. We're gonna
maybe we can have it at his house. He always invites us over.
Exactly. We're gonna have to pick a
have
coast.
Some apps and some cocktails.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pick a coast, right? It's probably like the dude with the most. We're gonna have to.
There's the new SEAL Museum's opening in San Diego. That wouldn't be a bad spot. A little brick and mortar.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be fun because that's a place where old school team guys can get together, and it's not a...
We'll rent out the VFW.
Dude.
Get a couple smarter couches. I know a guy. Get sand at a price.
We'll find the best VFW in all of Southern California. Stale beer and pretzels for all my men.
Exactly, man. I know Jocko lives on the beach, I think, so I don't think his house is big enough.
He's surfing and choking out tiger sharks.
We'll rent out the Econo Lodge in La Jolla and bring everybody in, man, right?
So fall 26, we're aiming towards that. Jocko for president.
I'm already getting committed to Jocko for president.
And that'll be the next
just
one?
So everybody knows, even though I'm dead fucking serious. 1,000%.
Let me know in the comments or whatever. What do you think about that? Because you're onto something too. Because when Daddy Trump is done, you need someone else to roll in there and finish it up.
Look, I know that probably going into politics isn't like the most. A bunch of the backstabbing and the muckrakers
and the pay
all
cut.
that. But at the end of the day, man, unfortunately, if you have the leadership traits and the skills, then you got to rise to the fucking challenge, man. You really do.
Right?
And this country is, it used to be like step one was you used to have military service, so you weren't going to do dick in running for a president. And we've gotten away from that, man, right?
Yeah, well, sort of. George Bush did a good job in the Texas National Guard keeping the VC out of Dallas.
Think about 41, what kind of individual he was, man.
Yeah. I was making a joke about George Bush.
The guy was like
Dude, he got shot down in World War II.
Was like, he was like the CIA director. It's like a side hustle for 2 years. The military service, all that, and then ran for president. He was a great American.
Oh, yeah.
Great. Yeah. And so, anyway. But, 2026, that gives us a nice...
For the fall, the fall 26, okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm in.
All right.
I'll throw down the gauntlet.
All right. Well, we're gonna do that. We're gonna keep everyone posted. This has been a blast today.
It is. I love it. It's like I hadn't seen Rob for a long time, and then I saw him in Nashville. And the great thing about being in the teams is once you suffer under duress in anything in life, you have a bond, and you haven't seen the dude for 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, and then you see him instantly, and then it's just like you haven't been away at all, man.
Yeah.
It's an indescribable feeling.
It really is.
You feel great, so man, it has been awesome. And thanks for having me on the show. It was awesome.
It's been fun, and we'll do this again. We'll come up with some other stuff.
I'll get a big bear paw. Get the hug. Give me a hug, man. Let the big bear get his paw on you, man. Huh? Yeah, I love you. Awesome. I love you too. A lot of fun. Yes, it was awesome.
All right. Isn't that something? Like I said, just two dudes sitting around yucking it up a little bit, trying to remember that life in person is a lot better than life online. Have a good conversation too. I love running into former teammates of mine like that. hitting down a memory lane, talking about the good old days. Like the swim sucked, but the bus ride was fun. It was always a good time. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Operator Podcast. More to follow. I'll probably get Paget back on here eventually too, but there's a lot more teammates out there that no one's heard of. But man, every story is unique. That's why I hope more people can get out there and tell their stories too, regardless of where you were. I think it's important for people to realize what goes down, how life can be, and how much fun you can have if you present yourself. You know, the whole wherever you are, be there type thing. And don't be afraid to wake up and force a smile. If you can force a smile and remember that the only thing better than no motivation is false motivation, then you're never out of the fight.